I got a story for you, but I'm waiting until we good.
Yeah.
We're back.
We're back. Are we good?
So I gotta announce that whole thing all over again.
Run it back.
We run it back.
We run it back. There
this
you
is
go.
what- this
Are you
is
gonna
what-
break? Hold on. Are you gonna break out the belt again?
I
Just
gotta
don't
bring
blind
out the
me.
belt one more time.
Yeah, we were just told there was some technical difficulties, so the Big Daddy King Roach is gonna.
So yeah, in case you saw the excitement in my face, so you knew I had to do something with wrestling. But so just to revisit the story real quick, last week we discussed about flexing the trademark and infringing on copyrights and all that shit. And when I started putting Roach TV out, I felt like somebody was gonna approach me with this shit at some point. I just wanted to get enough content out there to at least establish a friendship or a community.
To begin a sphere of influence,
Exactly.
so to speak.
So, right when they did approach me, it was I'm not gonna say the promotion, but it's not one of the top promotions. But they have good marketing value, so I understand why they approached me. They told me that I was stealing views away from their promotion. And so I backed down immediately, and I just told them, I was like, look, no problem. I just went through this on the other side. So me and my boy, my new friend, which I told you on the phone, reminds me
Yo,
just
like
of
just
Vela.
when you saying that, bro, like I have to meet him, bro. Like just you saying that, like that's not like something that you just like somebody says knowing him, haven't met him. So I want to meet this gentleman.
So it was just funny because, and he's young.
Yeah.
He's young dude, 23 years old, very clear-minded, knows what he wants, and he gets it, bro. So we basically partnered up for a new promotion, Industrial World Wrestling. I already said I'm going in the ring. My goal is just to lose the gut, look good enough for TV.
Do the Hogan, man. Don't lose the gut. Just tone it, bro. Get the one ab, bro. Do the Hogan one ab, bro. Like I was
feel like
talking
I
to
got
somebody
one
about
flag
that at
right
work,
now.
man, and they like they actually got some jokes. People thought it would work, man. Like I was like, yo, I don't want to like I've reached the point. Like I know I'm not gonna get a 6-pack. But if I could tone it up enough and get the Hogan one ab, and like how Hogan still has that dad bod, but he has the one hard ab in the middle, like I'd be okay with that. That'd be
Because it looks okay in the video games too.
yeah.
Like there's not much definition.
When I
but
create a wrestler, I never give them the super
The
6-pack,
chiseled, nah.
chiseled, Batista, Randy Orton.
we always
man.
kind of created our wrestlers to match what we were.
Yeah, man. I always tried to do that. I mean, when creating a wrestler's likeness, if I would make the one for me and then the fun one. Like that's just the crazy guy, the wild ones. Then build a stable maybe.
Mad Dog.
There you go. Iceberg.
My name as a wrestler as a kid was Mr. Showtime. And I think I've lived up to that name.
Yeah, I
But
think
yeah.
I've had some Mad Dog moments.
So just be on the lookout. Tom Frazier, King Roach, Industrial World Wrestling, bro.
Industrial World Wrestling, man. Like I said, because no one heard it here. Hopefully, people can read lips. I'm pretty sure, even without sound, maybe the YouTube closed caption will closed caption our words for us close enough.
But let me just tell you a little bit more about what he's planning to do, because he's trying to create a union for wrestlers. He wants them health benefits, all that stuff. So this promotion is going to be the first promotion that he's going to use as the guinea pig to try to actually pass this legislation. He knows all the lobbyists. Like, this guy's Jimmy Hoffa, bro. I'm telling you. So it's like, I just told him, don't end up like Jimmy.
Shit, man. Anybody know where his body is yet?
I mean, Scorsese.
I mean, I still have to watch The Irishman, man. I may undertake that. I'll have
That's
some
a
time.
4-hour journey you don't want to take anytime soon.
I
bro.
know I'm gonna have to watch it in like segments. I'm gonna watch like 2 hours here. That's part 1. 2 hours here. That's part 2. Treat it like the last Harry Potter, part 1, part 2.
So I got to tell you a story. I've been saving this story. This happened yesterday. I was going to call you as soon as it happened, but I wanted to save it for this moment right here because I want to capture the reaction. So with what I do for work, installing Wi-Fi systems and shit like that, I'll usually just do commercials. But yesterday they sent me a residential. So I go do this residence, Upper West Side, Upper East Side around there. Really nice family. It was a Jewish family, Hasidic Jewish family, place was beautiful, bro. And these people went above and beyond to make me feel comfortable and kind of make themselves feel comfortable with the fact that they got a stranger wearing a mask in their house that's, going in all the rooms and running cables and punching holes in walls and shit. And this is one of those stories where I feel like my love for wrestling kind of backfired on me. Because for some strange reason, somebody called me while my phone was a few feet away, and my phone was not on vibrate. And the first thing they heard was, I lie, I cheat, I steal.
Oh, man.
Yeah. I said, Eddie Guerrero must be laughing up there right now.
Oh man, all the wrestlers up there, man, together. Like, look at this fucker down. Look at this fucker. We thank you, buddy. We needed that.
Like something so, and my phone's always on vibrate, bro. And you saw when you was there the day that I made that my ringtone. I just had to raise the volume to show you because my shit's always on vibrate. That was like the worst possible time that shit could have happened, bro.
Oh man, I think that's why
everybody's spines got stiff. Like, it's like, who the hell is this dude?
Are we in danger?
Yo,
They had the eye conversation like this.
I immediately grabbed the phone. I'm like trying to smash that shit to shut it up.
Oh man!
But that was a moment of panic, bro. That shit that had me laughing. I was laughing within my mask all day long because of that shit.
Oh man, that's a good one, man. That's why mine's is Meet the Mets, man. Nice, it's simple, it's topical.
All right, are we? July 15th is today, right?
Yes, sir.
So let's take a quick look at what we got. Oh shit! Kevin Daniel is coming on tonight. Remember we had Kevin Daniel on the first go around of I think he came on with Ricardo Lopez.
Actually, yeah.
You remember him, right?
Yeah. I want to say yeah. I need to look at the picture just to make sure. Double check here. Kevin Daniel.
Kevin Daniel. He's the one that had that he gave us the fucking big ass vinyl records that he had. I think I still got that shit.
Yeah. I'm making sure. I wanted to get the face right. You know what's funny? I have a funny story. He might be pissed and telling this live on air. That was a Xanax, cocaine, and whiskey.
Yeah.
I remember that. But I wanted to make sure I had his name right, man.
Kevin Daniels.
One of my last shifts I did at Moulin Rouge. I was working security, man, and he saw somebody corner my eye. I'm like, yo, I recognize this face, but I'm doing my job. I'm checking bags, so I can't really stop what I'm doing. I gotta keep the line moving. But I got another look, and I hit him like later the next day. I was like, yo, did I happen to see? Were you at Moulin Rouge yesterday? He was like, yeah. He was like, I went with my girl and one of his friends, something like that. And I was like, damn, man. I was like, I saw you, bro. I was working security. I was like, but I couldn't stop what I was doing. I was like, you went in the line behind me. He's like, well, next time, say what's up, brother. I was like, I started to, man, but. So you saw that line working there, bro. You saw how wild it was over there. So,
Yeah.
But yeah, man.
That was a fun interview, bro.
I'm pretty sure. You know what's crazy? I'm pretty sure I gave that vinyl to my girl because she loves vinyls.
I think I just have it in a bag. I keep all my music stuff.
Because she'll tell me, she'll text me right now, like, no, you didn't. Like,
I still have Johnny Gerasimo's signed CD and a wrapped CD, like brand new. I got a CD from Alex Byrne. Like everybody that ever gave us any merchandise or any, sort of token of appreciation during our stint in live radio, I kept that shit. So I just kind of put it. I think I still got the Subjective Perspective album, bro.
Yeah. I know. I never got a copy. I never got a copy of some of those. I know you got most of those copies. I still have the Jason Evans Band CD in my house. I know I still have the Unified Struggle.
Did you get anything from Blue Kid?
I did, actually. I don't know where it's at. I think I don't know where it's at though.
You became obsessed with that band quick.
I mean, but they could play, man. They had a feel, man.
That was back during live at Zir Zamin. They had our own American Idol, bro. Of course, Thursday we got Mila Tina. You guys see the picture right there? She looks like she's gonna rock that fucking stage. Oh man.
Accidents happen. Thank you.
Thank you. Of course, this fine handcrafted caffeinated beverages
Yes, sir.
are crafted here at 219
219 Central Avenue, Bushwick, Brooklyn, 11221. First live studio. And, of course, you're watching it here on 30days2rock.us. We're keeping the vibe alive.
Keep the vibe alive. Yes, sir. So, Friday, Rise Up Brooklyn presents Joel Ross. That's going to be an exciting one. You got multiple shows on Friday. You guys are just stacking them in now. Turning out this content, baby.
Is Rise Up Brooklyn, is that that we had the young lady on? Bree? Is that Bree's organization?
Nah,
no,
she's Slap Collective.
Slap Collective.
But I've seen her face like on the TD Bank website. I think it was like she was like modeling and
Probably.
I was like, yo, that's crazy. Matter of fact, no, I know exactly what it was. It was the fucking when I went to go interview for New York Life Insurance. Remember back in the day, like I showed up in a suit. They had me go through this whole process, online application, and it was New York Life that she was like the primary model on the website. I said, yo, I know this girl. What the fuck?
It's like those times I told you, man, when I was cleaning out the shit at Toys R Us, cleaning out the back when I worked there, man, and seeing these big ass posters with Nook's face on it. There's so many times I'm not carrying this shit home, but so many times I wanted to bring those shits back to the block and look at this.
So, Planta. That's, of course, Friday at 10 p.m. That's a band, right? Yeah, I didn't think they was just going to start planting trees in the middle of the studio.
I don't know, man. Maybe they could do like what I'm about to say Mark Wahlberg, what Matt Damon did in The Martian. Maybe sound like that.
We should get Chris Day in here for some live composting. Remember that interview?
That's a good one, man.
We did a lot of fucking interviews.
Talking to him, you know what it was, man? Talking to him and then doing the, you know how much I play like the city skylines and Sim City and shit, how I used to play it, man. So that's like that side of how like the waste management part we always seem to fuck up and not get right. Your landfills start overflowing and shit.
And we started that game early. That was SimCity 2000 on PlayStation 1.
Word, man. I've always loved those types of games, man. Even still, I still play. You know, obviously, still play the one that's on Xbox.
So let's take a look at the website again. This Saturday, Rise Up Brooklyn once again. Godwin Lewis. Looks like a soulful character right there. Of course, you're gonna find this at 30days2rock.us. And then another doozy on Saturday, man. You got these back-to-back shows. That's why we love First Live so much, because they're always producing brand new content. 6:20. That's 6:20, right? In Spanish.
I'm gonna go and say I'm pretty sure 20 does mean 20, and then I was gonna go on those. I have to count that one out and hope I was right. I was gonna say 7 or 6.
Why did I ask you for Spanish help right now?
I'm not sure. Why did the Hispanic man ask the black man for Spanish questions?
All my Spanish came from the church, so I just know like really big words in Spanish, and then the simple shit I get stuck on.
Man, all my Spanish came from terrible teachers in the public school system.
Let's not name names, but she knows who she is.
Yo, she used to she was
that was the most disrespectful teacher.
She used to shit on the way people spoke fucking Spanish, and she's like, no, it's not real Spanish. It's not proper Spanish. Like, they've been speaking this shit
Mad
their whole life.
arrogant.
That's a little disrespectful, man. I get,
arrogant as fuck.
That was she used to do that shit all the time.
You're supposed to be teaching us this shit.
Like, she was mean, yo.
But she took offense when you didn't have her accent. And she was like from what, Spain or something like that? So when she spoke Spanish from Spain.
It's like but it's almost like, how we speak a different English than English spoken in England. It's different accents, different words mean different shit. But she would get really fucking offended by that shit. Like, it was like, ma'am, you're our teacher. Lead the way. No. And
then she used to get upset when the kids started tormenting her back.
Yeah, man. I was like, yo, man.
I never partake in those
I never
festivities.
partook in it, man. But there were times they made me laugh.
I was just like,
Like some kids were ruthless, man, and she started it, man. And no matter what, man,
you remember how stiff her hair was?
they would always attack her hair, man. Like she had that red crow's nest. Like
that
it was
shit
just,
it looked like the hair from SmackDown 1 characters on PlayStation.
it looked like if Macho Man like tried to mousse and gel his hair up and like get it to stay in like a bun.
Straight.
Like she had like
bucket.
Macho Man's hair texture and thinness,
Brillo pad.
but it was red.
That shit was hilarious. Bro.
That was, man. But she was mean, man. She was mean.
So then we got
Non-residents
on Sunday at 3 p.m. and at 7 p.m. Jesus Knievel.
I don't know why. They're just the name of that makes me want to see what they do.
Jesus Knievel. What kind of music you think that is? If you had to guess.
If I had to guess, looking at their picture, I would guess some sort of metal, maybe some sort of rock. If I had to guess,
Some post-hardcore metal.
something
Screamo maybe.
Something along those lines. And then, it's crazy. We could be so fucking blindingly
They
wrong.
could just come in here with fiddles and
fucking
banjos.
classical instruments, and they put on a 4 or 5 peak orchestra set. Like, we are that wrong. Like, goddamn,
Like-
Jesus Knievel. I'm here all week, people.
Yeah. See, I'm tuning in for that one. That's Sunday at 7. It's not like I'm going to be filming for Roach TV.
Yeah, you handle these things good now, man.
But you know what it is?
My answer to a lot of people, they ask me, yo, what are you doing tomorrow? Not like I got a job to go to right now.
It's like, so this list jumps back into Monday. I think we covered the week.
Yeah.
We're going to end it with Jesus Knievel, which we both assume is a rock, hardcore, maybe metal.
Along those lines.
But if they come in here with banjos and fiddles and they shut it down,
Yo, I'll be...
then we have to do a podcast called "Don't Judge a Book by Its Cover."
Word. And we've done it a few times. We admit we've done it. We're honest about it. We make mistakes. People do that. I mean, people have judged us by our looks before we start doing what we're doing.
Still, they still do. It's like,
It's the thing, man.
and I don't think I make it any better with my ringtone. It's like, and since you guys got a shot of it right there, we posted a video last week. I'm actually gonna make that video public. I'm not doing the paid subscription behind the scenes shit. If you want to donate, because now the behind the scenes show is just gonna be my journey into this wrestling world. So we went to Tony's Pizzeria last week, 443 Knickerbocker Avenue. That's the right address, right?
Yes, sir.
And Sal wasn't there. We wanted him to come on the show today.
Today.
And he wasn't there, and he, even when we did speak to him, he really wants to bring people on the show that inspire him to do what he did.
Yeah.
That we was taking notice to. But they blessed us, man. All they had to do was just jump on the phone with Sal, and he said, "Open the box." We went. We grabbed the hat that we wanted.
I mean, I was really just expecting you to get a hat, and he's like, "Hey, ain't this a team thing? Which
It's a
one
team
you want?"
thing, bro. And we got the fresh, and these honestly are the best fitted
They're like
hats.
that form fan. You know what the thing is for me with the dad hats, and it happens is like I keep having to adjust them. 'Cause sometimes I feel like they're too tight and they make my head hurt, so I have to keep going. Then they're too loose. I'm afraid like I'll start
This
running
shit
and
is
it'll blow
perfect.
off, or wind breeze will take it. But these are just like so form fitting, like they're just right perfect on the head. I like my brim, to be a little folded,
Little
not too-
curvaceous.
yeah. I'm not a flat brim typer, man. I don't know, man. People, like I don't know any athletes who really, baseball players wear their brims like that. So that always annoys me. I've always, curved my brim on my hat. Always.
I really stopped doing it in high school,
What?
doing the straight brim. Because in high school, I used to do the straight brim because I had the do-rag under.
Nah, I never wore a do-rag under a hat. I only would wear a do-rag. I never really wore a do-rag in public. No.
Yeah, because you was using it for
yeah.
functionality,
Yeah.
not for fashion.
Yeah. And I mean, it's wild, man. When I saw do-rags made a comeback a few years ago, man, that shit was wild, man. I was like, wow. Yeah, it's like, wait, are people wearing do-rags again? And then aside from
flaps in
wearing
the wind,
do-rags
bro.
again, they're wearing do-rags like with the flaps out. Like they're not even like twirling them like how like we had at least figured out the way to keep it looking cool. Nah, y'all like flaps out. Like, nah, man, like I'm do-ragging it.
I always twirled and tied, bro.
Twirl, tied, twisted, knotted, under. Like all that, man. I do not want that.
And you had to do it in that order.
Not your shit was looking wild.
And if you had the curve in your head in high school, you were made fun of.
I mean, I always wore it with a curve, man. Like
Nobody was gonna step to you. You was fucking basketball star, bro.
I wouldn't say star. I was basketball. You know, I was a part of the team. Junior year, I was part of the team. Senior
Modesty.
year, I got around closer to that status. But yeah, as a freshman and a fucking sophomore, I was just riding the bench on JV. Not gonna name names, but I did have a problem with that. But yeah, I think it taught me a bit of humility to see people I felt I was equal to, or at least at par on athletically, get more playing time than me.
I saw a lot of people that had the potential to go to the NBA, blow it.
I won't say NBA, but I'll say I put a lot of people who had potential to play professionally. Like there's so many, like, and that was the thing I noticed. Like there's so many chances overseas, and I'll say we played with a lot of people who had pro potential in pro leagues in other countries. I'll say just because the NBA is top tier, I'll say people show glimpses of it. We play with people that show glimpses of having that type of talent, but did toss it.
The ones that I'm talking about, they just got involved in the street shit. Fast money.
I know precisely what you're talking about.
Fast money does something to people. It makes them not want to go for long money because the fast money is instant gratification. And that was one of the most detrimental things that I've seen happen to a lot of the people we grew up with.
Yeah.
Because look how long we've been doing radio. How long we've been doing radio, bro. How old does that make us feel that we've been doing this shit for
8 years?
More than 8 years.
I mean, it makes me feel older, man, when I see some of these fucking Facebook memories that pop up, man. And I remember, like,
when we were young, wild, and free.
Yep. I don't even say young, wild, and free, just young and wild. Still have the same type of freedom, so to speak.
I don't have the freedom with my time that I used to. So I'll say that much. But you'll come to deal with that one day. I know what that's like.
Everyone's been telling me that lately.
Tell you, once little Zoe comes.
Long time. Long time. Not even gonna discuss that on there. Nope.
I'm not giving you no juju, but I'm just saying.
Nah, man, everybody wants to put that bad juju on me, man. Like when I'm have kids, I'll be ready for kids, man. But like it's not in the plans right now. When it happens, it happens. Like I'm tired of people bringing it up. Like it's annoying. I like being an uncle because when either my niece or nephew annoy me, which they usually do, it's
go back to your mom.
Go back to your mom. Go back to your dad. Go bother grandma. Go bother grandpa. Only Dylan I sometimes curse at. I don't really curse at my niece.
Dylan can take it.
I don't really curse at him. To tell him stop being a wise ass, quit being a smart ass.
So like I
don't really curse at Dylan.
The D-level curses.
Yeah, you know what? He's only heard me drop F-bombs because, and I told you I have to remind myself now when I have the headset on, if I'm playing Call of Duty with him, that I do have the headset on, and I can't, when I'm one more kill away from my third kill streak, get pissed and yell the things I typically yell into the headset. And even, what pisses me off is that I typically yell it, but I play with the headset on and the microphone off. But now I'm playing with him. He wants to talk, game plan and strategize. So
you're not even cursing on a multiplayer level. You're just cursing on a personal level that's being caught on the microphone.
It's being caught on the microphone. I have to remind myself, like, yo, hot mic. Like, it's like, yo, hot mic.
Oh, shit.
Like, yeah, man. Like, he's definitely, he's heard me drop some F-bombs like you son of a, like, yeah, he's definitely, he's heard it. But he's actually, to be his age, to be 10. Is he 10 right now? I think he's turning 10 this year. No, he's 10. He's turning 11. I may be wrong. I'm pretty sure I'm wrong because he always tells me like I get his age wrong. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's 9 turning 10 or 10 turning 11. One of those two. I usually get it wrong. I'll be corrected at some point. But he
Imagine
he's
he
actually
calls you right now and be like,
he's actually pretty good at at Call of Duty, bro. And he wants to play like his dad does, so he plays hardcore.
but the kids nowadays, they're much better than the adults.
I mean,
They grew up in an age where facial recognition was actually already installed in cameras and shit like that.
But he's what's impressive is this is his first real foray into an online multiplayer, playing other people. He can hold his own. He can hold his own, man.
Like, you hear him engaging with other people on the mic?
No, he doesn't. He only talks to me on the mic.
Yeah, because he saves that moment for when he's alone.
Nah, his dad. I know his dad doesn't let him play the PlayStation unless he tells him first. And Lorenzo's usually there or probably in the other room, so he's not on the mic too much unless he's with his friends. I don't think he's on the mic when he's not playing with somebody.
Man, Lorenzo, the games that we've played over the years. Do you remember when we had the Cool Borders 3 demo disc?
I remember that, bro.
That
was when I
gave you one
decided
run?
at some point in my life I'm going to go snowboarding. The first time we played that. And I even remember playing the Cool Borders 1 and 2 demo, bro. But I remember when we had that
But
one.
when we had the 3, this was already during the time that you had to flip your PlayStation upside down. So that the disc
fucking
could read.
lean it on the diagonally, man. That shit was...
It's like the tips and tricks.
The tips and tricks of after that,
Rigging
bro.
a PlayStation.
You know what? We still didn't learn our lesson. It took the Xbox for us to learn our lesson to stop buying.
The red rings?
Nah, the original Xbox. Like after that, when we saw people having the red rings, we just we waited on 360 and the PS3. And then
Because y'all would go get the systems as soon as they came out.
My dad, he's an electronics head, man. Shit, I remember when the first Xbox started when we had the original Xbox and the first one started having problems. And he just came home one day with that shit in a box from Best Buy, a brand new one. Like, he was like, I ain't with the shits. Like, I ain't doing it. I was like, damn.
I don't know anybody that games more than him, bro.
Nah, I don't. I don't
know anybody.
Even at his age, I tell people, even at his age, he plays games more than me, my nephew, my brother combined.
And he's always online. He always got his headphones plugged in, talking to his team.
His clan, man. He likes to play that Destiny 2, man. That's a massive.
Every time I go to your house, that's what he's playing.
I have to get this word right. It was a massive multiplayer online RPG. If I'm not mistaken, I have to make sure I said that right.
So we do actually have a guest coming on, and he should be arriving within like 20 minutes. He said he'll be here around 11 o'clock.
Yeah, I saw that.
But, of course, we are as you. This is Eduardo. I got to say his name right, bro. Asunsolo. Eduardo Asunsolo. And he's going to sit down on this fantastic couch here at 219 Central Avenue, of course. And once he arrives, things are going to heat up, bro.
Yeah.
That on-the-couch interview we did last week with Tinsty and Renee.
That was a fun one.
That was very fun.
Yes, that was.
It's nice to have people on the Skype, but when they're here, you get the bounce back and forth.
It is, yeah. The Skype is fun, but when you're here, they just holding on, no talking over each other accidentally. It's a different vibe. It's a different feel, but I love it.
It's the full lights, camera, action that you get here at First Live.
Yeah.
And we should take a moment to remind everybody that this entire production was put together for the sole purpose to raise funds. You want to take this?
Yes. This entire, 30 Days to Rock initiative here at First Live, over at 30days2rock.us, is all a fundraising initiative to help majority of it to help First Live because, like most small businesses, not just throughout New York State, throughout the U.S., have been hurt by this COVID-19 pandemic. The federal government and state governments didn't really give much relief. And also to help artists, man, because a lot of artists don't get paid from their artistry. And they're also out of work outside of that. A lot of artists work in the service industry. The service industry has probably been hit the hardest. Service industry has been hit the hardest. These two combined here with this 30 Days to Rock initiative. And it's a fundraising initiative, man, to help keep First Live open and to help get some money into these artists' pocket who are hurting right now through this COVID-19 pandemic, man. And just, if you need any other information, you can get it all over at 30days2rock.us. Any information you would need on donating, on everything, you can see all the upcoming events. You can see the splash page right here.
That's crazy. I was trying to pull it up on the website, and he already had his own graphic planned out.
Yeah. So
that's how you know people are prepared.
So we know everything. So you guys know everything coming up. And like I said, it's a shame, man, what happened to. I mean, that the federal government, and federal government doesn't give a fuck about small businesses right now. Essentially, man, it's figured out. Landlords, because landlords essentially have bills to pay too, so they're not getting any help either. So they're like, hey, you ain't getting help, I ain't getting help. So
meanwhile, the billion-dollar companies became trillion-dollar companies, and
a lot of them got fucking bailouts, man. I know, not even bailout, but help and money, man. Like it was.
They said, I saw in the article. Not only, this is kind of a side note. Kanye supposedly dropped out of the race.
I saw that this morning too. He already dropped out of the race.
But I saw an article not too long ago, maybe a couple weeks ago, saying that he had like a stimulus from the government that was a couple $1 million.
Yeah. That the Easy company got it.
It's like, come on.
It's like these
bro.
are big companies, but through these loopholes and shit, tax write-offs and such, they know how to manipulate the system to gain these advantages against other companies and smaller companies, and it's not right, man. Like there were fucking professional sports teams that took some of those fucking loans, man, and fucking had to give it back. I saw the Lakers with one. A couple of sports teams did that shit. And it's disgusting, man.
They took loans?
Like from those small business, like that little bit of small business
the
loan
grants?
money. Yeah,
grant
grant money. Yeah, they took some of that, but they all refunded it back when they all got found out. So here's the thing: had you not have been found out, would you have given it back?
Absolutely not.
I doubt it. I doubt it. It's a very scumbaggy thing at the core, man. At the heart of it, it is a ridiculously scumbag move. At the heart of it, right down to the core.
So if you guys want to show support, that just kind of got fierce.
I mean, it's a
scumbag thing to do.
It's a scumbag thing to do, man. To know who this money's allocated for, and to do that. Even the people who have the opportunities to go back to work, man, who are like resting on the $600 still, and had the chance and didn't when that's up. And when unemployment, I've told people, man, like if you think the federal government ain't gonna come back around and see who defrauded them at the end of this shit, Uncle Sam doesn't like to do favors. Uncle Sam doesn't like to let things go.
And they all inside a server somewhere.
Somewhere there's a paper trail, true information about it. And I told a lot of people, make good choices when it comes to that. Because if you get caught,
like there's too much technology now, and too many people willingly give away information about themselves.
Word online, Facebook,
so
Snapchat,
like
Instagram.
One thing I did
Twitter.
a few years ago was I wiped out my Facebook completely. I downloaded this Chrome plugin, started deleting everything, and as I'm watching this shit, it took 2 days, and I'm literally showcasing my whole goddamn life. Like if you didn't know me and you downloaded this information on a spreadsheet, you could put together a goddamn clone. Because you know how I think, you know what I eat, you know how I move, where I go. And this is information that's just floating somewhere. You think your financial information that's all that money that's automatically showing up in your account, you think they don't have that shit on a fucking server saying, all right, we're going to let you rock till the end of the year.
Yeah, you good money. Don't worry about it.
We'll be back.
Yeah, we'll see you when our offices reopen. We have people actually sitting at their desk to run whole background checks and shit, and actually go like, yo, when they get back to combing through that information, if anybody has to repay funds or anything, we don't know if that's gonna happen or not. But I've read articles where they said like, yo, when shit's back up and running, man, like they know people defrauded the government. And
I think the worst thing that could happen is that the entire economy collapses. The dollar is out the window.
I mean,
if that happens, complete chaos, bro.
No one knows when it's happened before. It's a possibility. I'll say we've seen the markets, man, bouncing all over the place the last few years, man. I don't know much about market trends, so I can't sit here pretend to be an expert and know everything about it. But I know that there are times, and even right now, when like the economy's not doing that great, man. And as what's supposed to be the most powerful, you know, nation in the world, what have you, whatever you want to call the U.S., to be a superpower still, or a dwindling superpower, if you may, is it is still sad to look at the overall condition our country's in, and I'm not talking about from a leadership standpoint or any of that, because that just speaks for itself across the board everywhere. It's top to bottom, down, you know, from, you know, shit rolls downhill, and they're all covered in it. You know, top to bottom when it comes to politics, both sides. I don't want to hear it. But even more so, man, like the fabric and like the of this country, the more you see, especially right now, the sadder it is, man. And I mean, I don't know what it would take for, I mean, to pull this country together, man. Because I mean, yeah, I don't even think an alien attack, a true alien attack, no Project Bluebeam shit, but a true alien attack.
And that's,
I don't think even that would unite Americans.
Did you see the increase, the influx of footage from sightings happening across the country?
UFO,
right now?
yeah.
So now
And
it's
now,
just
like the
well,
Navy's
what else
been
is gonna fucking
declassifying
happen this
UFO
year, bro?
information and shit the last few years. It's a lot of things, bro. It's a lot of things, man. But the heart, like at the core, the heart of this country, it's broken.
I think people right now, they're so polarized in their beliefs that it's just two extremes. There's no middle ground anymore.
There isn't. There's no healthy like middle ground. There's no fair middle ground. There's
If you lean left, then you're an extreme leftist. If you lean right,
you're alt-right conservative.
like
I mean,
and the clashes of the two extremes,
like even
especially
like seeing
in front
this
of
shit,
cameras.
like seeing down like in Bay Ridge over the
you gotta
weekend,
see this shit
bro.
on cameras in the news all the time, bro.
Did you see the like fucking Blue Lives Matters and fucking Black Lives Matters down in fucking Bay Ridge Saturday and Sunday?
Clashing? I ain't see that shit, bro.
Like, I mean, I
don't even want to watch the news anymore.
I
bro.
mean, you know me, I read it. I don't really watch the news, but I read it. Typically, I read threads. I get the information. I check it out. Some of these, I mean, I get it.
Threads, not memes. We got to point that out.
Yes.
Because a lot of people still get all their information. We said this on the podcast a couple days ago. And you all you do is just see a meme, reshare it, and now you're a reporter.
Yeah. now you woke. Now you know. Now you know all the information. It's a joke. It's a joke out here. But as like seeing that, man, it's like I get everyone wants to support the police. I mean, when I said it before, they have one of the hardest jobs out there already, and then now coupled with everything across the nation, reforms. But the fact that I'm sorry that you're mad that now you can't choke people out with impunity, you can't just bust motherfuckers' heads and get away with it and have 12, 13, 14 write-ups on your fucking filing jacket and nobody knows about it or why because of what is qualified immunity. And now that's what you're upset about. Like at the core, like and this is something we haven't discussed on this show at all. Defunding the police. This defunding the police talk. I think people see defunding the police and think, yo, let's abolish police departments across the U.S. Anybody saying that shit,
I honestly think
go
that's what
fuck
police
yourself.
think sometimes.
That's what police think. And I'm here to tell anyone, if that's what you mean by abolish the police, go sit yourself in a corner. We're gonna carve out a corner of the country for you to go try that experiment on your own. Like you've seen, let's look at the whole situation in Seattle when they tried that out there, that whole Chaz Chop zone. How every night that place descended to casket, people getting shot. You won't allow ambulances in. You had how many people die over there?
Talking about the block that they basically
It's like
took
a
control
6-block
over that
region,
whole shit.
And they chased the cops out of that precinct.
Did that end?
Yeah, they ended it like a week and a half ago, maybe 2 weeks. The mayor sent them in to clear that out, and they arrested some of the people who protested that. But let's look at that, man. And when people say defunding the police, man, I think they mean defunding the unnecessary budgets, the surplus, the budgets that allow the purchasing of surplus military equipment.
The Batman suits.
Yeah, the Batman suits, the Batman tumbler vehicles. It's like homie said to it's like homie said in The Dark Knight when he walked in at Morgan Freeman's office. He's like, so you mean to tell me you didn't notice your baby rolling around crushing cop cars every night? It's like, come on, man. And it's even like what we spoke about this, man. I told my dad this. These are things like we were saying 6-7 years ago, and people were dismissing us. And I mean us as in me and you.
I know.
It's like this rapid militarization of the police forces. You know, the way these manufacturers of these cars, these vehicles, this equipment produce in surplus, knowing, yo, we're gonna beat Uncle Sam in the head at these contract prices, but then we can unload the surplus to, you know, municipalities or what have you in other places at what we call a surplus, but we're still probably making money because God knows how low it costs us to actually produce this.
It was on the Bud and Roach Show radio show on Monday nights that we was covering.
A lot of this shit.
Like 250 million rounds. Remember
250 million rounds, man. Like, why did
why the
who was
fuck do
it
you
wasn't
have
even
so many
rounds? It was
rounds?
hollow point.
For who do you have that
And it was
for?
like the rounds they brought were against the Geneva Convention, so they weren't even conventional rounds that could be used
so
at
it's like,
war.
if you stockpiling
And
all
it
this
wasn't.
shit,
It was who was it? It was Department of Homeland Security. It was a lot of like domestic U.S. federal agencies, but it was so crazy that one of them was NOAA, the National Oceanic Atmospheric Organization. Like, they brought like 250,000 fucking. Why the fuck does NOAA need 250,000 fucking hollow point rounds? Someone explain that to me.
While at the same time trying to take away people's guns.
Explain that shit to me. I'm sorry. There are questions that need to be asked about these situations when these things arise, man. And to say that it's wrong to say that or ask these questions, man, is as we were told then it was wrong. But now you have, and a lot of people, man, I'm seeing people feeling kind of, I won't say feel the same way about us, but I'm going to bring up the Wayfair thing, the Wayfair situation. How people are saying how this is being fueled, the Wayfair, you know, conspiracy theory is being fueled by social media influencers, social media lifestyle influencers. So you are people who have never really, anytime, most of you, I'll say, anytime it was conspiracy theory, I'm going to guess a lot of you shot it down, called people that had those thoughts fucking whack jobs, whatever you call them, fucking tinfoil hat guys.
And now you're on the front line.
Now you're on the front line leading the charge, man. And people don't see, like, the problem with this, man. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with expanding your horizons. I just want you to see your hypocrisy. I want you to see how big of a hypocrite you've been using that. And I said hypocrisy.
Yeah, I was going to correct you.
That was the one I get wrong all the time. That's one of those ones I get wrong. I'm looking at you like, yo, you going to correct me now? I know I said it wrong, bro. I'm in my head like, yo, get me right. You're supposed to correct me when I do this shit. You always correct me.
But you self-corrected,
But I corrected. I knew that. I've self-corrected a few times already today, so I'm doing good here. But the hypocrisy behind it, bro, like, it's like, yo, that people, yo, you can't admit, like, yo, like, maybe I was wrong. Maybe there is more things going on at play here. But like I said, I stress it, man. A lot of people only want to see that now. And I like I said, I was talking to my girl about it.
I don't think that the next 4 years are going to have any solutions to any of these problems.
Nah, they're not. But also, I want to say, are your conspiracy theories going to stop when this person's out of office? Does it all go back to normal now? And
no, because now the majority of them dipped their toe in a rabbit hole. So now, just like we saw with this one, we're not going to say her name, that she was doing skits and shooting music videos, and now she's literally just posting about this shit online all day. It's like, yo, once you know the truth, that's why in The Matrix, remember when Neo coughed up the pill?
Yeah.
And when he was talking to Morpheus, he was just like, I can't, I can't go back, can I? He was like, no. But if you could, would you want to go back? That's why Cypher at the end of the movie was like, I don't want to remember nothing.
I don't want to remember it. I don't want to know.
Put me back in the Matrix.
Make me someone good.
I want to be someone
important, like a movie star
like an actor or something.
Actor. He's like, I know it's not steak. My mind should know.
It's like the whole world is a show right now, bro. It's a fucking show. And it's hard to even believe shit that I see. Because there's so many psyop fucking, like, everything is an illusion now, bro. Like, you got magicians out here, magicians in office, black magic, bro. Not just the camera, the actual magic.
I mean, like I tell people, man, like I said, like I've said it a lot, like, what's her name? They finally arrested Jeffrey Epstein's associate, that Ghislaine Maxwell lady. And I tell people, yo, you all enjoyed the Jeffrey Epstein. Like I told my brother, you all enjoyed the Jeffrey Epstein jokes. Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself. But if you look at what the core of that, what you're all joking about, and you really want to talk, man, there's some wicked things going on in the world. And like I said, man, like if you want to talk about it, one of those wicked things may be that some people don't believe in the same God as you. And they don't worship that type of God.
I heard she was ready
do.
to sing.
I've heard she's ready to sing. I've heard she, lived at like 50 different places over the last few years.
And that she had archives of famous politicians
They're
with
saying
minors.
she posed as a professor, a teacher, when she brought that her hideout. So she didn't even, they said she was posing as people, like wigs and shit, like moving around. Like, I don't know, man. Like, how does someone with her, I mean, I guess she had the financial means, but how does she have... That's like espionage shit to more like
that's Jason Bourne,
that's
James Bond. That's bro.
Real. Like I have questions, bro. Like people have questions, man. And if anything happens to her in any manner, shape, fashion, or form, bro.
Someone wrote online, why don't if we could put a 24-hour a day camera on a giraffe giving birth, then why can't we watch her? It's like, all you're going to do is just shut the camera off or loop the feed for 2 seconds and somebody's going to come in and give it a good old Epstein. Because as soon as that shit happened, everybody knew it was bullshit. We were saying it was going to happen before it happened.
And I mean, even like we said it, you watched it, we spoke about it. Like the news was like, is he safe? Will it happen? Is it going to happen? When's it going to happen? Like the news was alluding to, like they're telling you, like it's going to happen. We're just not sure when, guys. Like we have, some notes here we're supposed to follow maybe. I don't know, guys. But even people saying it, man, how there's never been a crew like a more crew get down there that fast. They're like they were there in like 45 minutes. Like they said, this never happened that quick, bro. They're like the way,
and it's blatantly in your face.
In your face, man.
And then the news could just add a little narrative, little personal narrative to each time they broadcast it. So this one's saying this, and this one's saying that. So you got all these jumbled stories, and you don't know shit.
I mean, I'm gonna tell you what's the most. I'm gonna tell you who's shitting the most bricks right now. Your boy Prince Andrew and the royal family. Because if that man is in any way connected to any of this, which at this point is just, we say it all the time.
It's almost like common knowledge within them, within that group, that he's the guy. Like, come on, the photos. Ricky Gervais even like clowning you during a whole pedophilia fucking rant.
I mean, it's gonna get crazy for them, man. And if in any way, the tiniest detail is corroborated, him, Bill Clinton, any of these names on that fucking Lolita Express log, if any of the tiniest detail is corroborated, the house of cards is gonna start to crumble, bro.
So what would he do? Would he get extradited?
Who?
Prince Andrew.
I believe he would. I mean, but it would actually come down to the royal family if they turn him over. They've actually apparently been pressuring him to speak to the FBI and the federal investigators, and he doesn't want to, from what I've read. Or
so he's causing more problems
federal
for them
investigators
than
have been trying to get them to get him to come over and talk, or allow them to go there and talk, and like getting stonewalled. Along the lines are the federal investigators want to talk to him, but they're not getting past the royal family either because he doesn't want to, or they won't allow him. But one way or the other, like they like it's not an accident, man. Like that Bill Clinton shit is. I mean, I'm sorry, man.
It's a lot of dirty, grimy shit going on, bro.
It is, man.
And this lady has the books.
She has, man. She's the guy from Casino who had the heart attack when they ran in the crib. Like she got the books. She knows where everything is. She had, I mean, the craziest shit is, what if she has a fucking kill switch, like somewhere? Like if she dies, anything happens to her, like they have to be worried. The fact that she's been now in the news arrested for almost a week and a half, and still okay for now, no COVID. They denied her bail yesterday.
I'm waiting until the 20th because I told you about that.
Yeah.
And it was like was that post dated when you put the date beforehand? Predated. So the shit was predated to July 20th, and it was a story on New York Post saying that she got COVID and she got transferred to a solitary quarantine shit.
I don't know.
People snapshotted it and then they took it down, which was crazy. You don't know what the fuck is real anymore. But if she passed the 20th, then she has a chance.
See, I mean, we'll have to see, man. But I mean, if anything happens to her, man, I honestly think she's the one with the goods, man. I think while Epstein knew, I think she's the one who knows.
If Leonardo DiCaprio in The Departed had the foresight to have that package, she's got to have it. She has to have that shit somewhere just lingering. And the minute somebody touches her, that shit's going out to the press. That shit's going out to the government.
Shit's probably shit, man. Yeah, man. The type of money, the shit we see in movies, man. That shit. She could have a fucking biometric scanner embedded in her skin, and they could all be uploaded to a cloud somewhere digitally, encrypted the fuck out of. And the second something happens to her, those biometric scans fucking fluctuate. I mean, even like let's look at the way 24. They don't have to kill her, but if she doesn't have a regular like biometric reading, if it deviates from what she would have set as standard metrics, you know, if it could tell she's being tortured or something, you know, you could tell she's under duress by those readings. All right, doesn't even have to be that she dies.
I mean, if she's buying properties under disguise,
and they said she lived at least in the last year since this has happened, she's lived in at least 50 different places.
It's more than Tekashi.
The type of money that goes into that.
It's bankroll because she essentially has all the blackmail material on the most powerful people in the United States and the world.
I even still don't fully understand how they found her. I really need to look into that more. I still don't even fully understand how they found her. They said she was like in a secluded house in New Hampshire.
They got satellites, bro.
They said it was what I read, it was like satellite, spy plane, and I think they said a UAV or like a drone.
It's like
they got people in the air and then used the drone.
They caught somebody selling just regular dime bags on a corner with a satellite feed, and they just rolled up on him. He was like, "How the fuck?" I'm like in the middle of nowhere. It was like, "Oh, we were just watching the satellite feed, and you came up."
Yeah, like you're right there, man. Like
they just zoom in with that shit.
They say bird's eye view, man. They say these drone cameras can see within up to 6 feet off the ground.
Matter of fact, there's this fucking website, bro. I'm gonna see if I find this website because I'm gonna show you this shit. Don't pull up the computer yet. Let me find it.
But yeah, man. I mean, but you remember when they like a 1.something million megapixel camera?
That's what I'm looking for right now.
1 point what megapixels on these drones?
It's like
It was like 1 point something million. But then again, we have to remember that was 8 years ago. What are they up to now? You know what I'm saying? With the advances in technology. If we have, you know, now they're giving us 20, 30 megapixels, 2-3 cameras, wide angles. We got the front crazy angle cameras now. Like, what are they giving us here that we don't know?
Look, this shit is called Big Pixel. Come on, dude. Jesus Christ. That's one thing I hate about dealing with goddamn websites that have fucking pop-ups every 2 seconds.
Oh man, that annoys the living hell out of me.
Jesus Christ.
That annoys me. That drives me crazy. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you. When it's just frequent pop-ups, like don't stop it, boom, 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 boom.
So this is supposedly the highest resolution camera, and you can actually zoom in to people's fucking faces.
Jesus Christ, where's this?
This is in China.
I was gonna ask, but this looks. I was gonna say this is in China. Oh my fucking God!
Look at that shit, bro.
Like you can.
Look at how far back it goes. If that's not fucking creepy ass shit right there.
Yo, bro. But then we report on this, but now you actually see the level of how far this can zoom in.
Look at this. They're giving you arrows to go to North Korea and Beijing. Check out North Korea. That's bigpixel.com, bro. The technology that people have now, and this is civilian technology.
This is civilian
shit. Government has,
Imagine
bro.
what the government, the military.
That's 50 years ahead of us right now.
And imagine now. Imagine we're talking regular, the military we know. Imagine what the special forces have. The people who get the prototype stuff first. You know what I'm saying?
This guy. Let's see. We can easily see the cars.
Like, this is nuts, man. I'm like looking at this. This is nuts, bro. But people don't want to believe this, man. That these drones could fly overhead, catch you doing anything.
God damn.
Look at how close that is. You can read the license plate.
Holy shit.
You can read the fucking
What
license
the
plate. That was
fuck?
fucking crazy. Yo, that is clear as day, bro.
You could see the plate.
Yo, zoom in on that ship over there. See if you can read any of the whole details.
This one?
Yeah. My God, I don't
It's
think we
already
could read.
clearing up.
That's crazy.
This right here is like 1080p.
That's insane, bro. Back of the hall, you could make that out. Jesus Christ. That is fucking crazy, bro.
Now imagine this was live video feed.
I mean, but these are the things. They get these live video feeds. I mean, not us, but the people who have chances. The people who control these drones. I remember, what was it? They said that with 2 of those drones, they could cover the entire Manhattan Island.
With just 2 drones.
2 drones in zones, quadrants, whatever you want to call it. The entire Manhattan Island.
You think we could see in the windows?
Yeah, you'll be able to see in the windows.
Holy shit. God.
Fucking crazy, bro.
You could be smoking a cigarette on your
Word, bro.
balcony.
You could be tugging it and not realize it, bro, and they could get all of it, bro. Like, that's it. Imagine that, man.
Shit.
But we've said about the capacity of these drones now, man.
Some crazy shit right there.
That's scary. That's a little scary. I'm not going to stand here and lie to you, man. It's a little scary. That's a little scary how crystal clear those images are.
Just imagine, bro. Just imagine. What was that movie with Denzel?
Enemy of the State?
No.
No, that was Will Smith.
In Time. Was that In Time? No, that was
that's Justin Timberlake. Out of Time.
Out of Time. Where he like goes into the past.
Yeah.
But the shit that they was watching was shit that like happened.
Yeah.
Look at this guy. I know that's not the camera. There's no way that's the camera.
I don't think so.
This got to be just floating around. I think he just took a picture of the camera so he could say that he was there when they took the picture.
Yeah. That's
Shit is
crazy,
creepy, bro.
man.
It's creepy shit. And if they're giving this to people on a free website, you know they got it.
To show how crystal clear this is, man. That's fucking creepy, bro.
You know they got it.
That's a little bit creepy, man. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. That's a wee bit creepy, bro.
So you can't even
Just a wee bit.
Can't even do shit no more, bro. Somebody's always watching.
I try to stress that to a lot of people, man. Someone's always listening. A lot of people have these, I'm not going to say it because I know yours is going to go off, but these personal assistants on their phones. We obviously know now my laptop has one, which I didn't realize. So I can't even say fucking her name. I think the only one we can reasonably say right now is Alexa. There won't be any goddamn Amazon things around here.
It's probably one in the back you don't even know about.
Yeah, probably. I did not understand what you said.
What did you say? Please say that again.
But
like, nah, bro.
Yeah, man. But it's like people just rely on these things heavily, man.
I'll be like almost knocked out, sleeping, like basically drifting away 2 hours into laying down or an hour into, and then I'll hear in the living room, "No, I'm sorry, I cannot do that." Nobody in the house is talking, so I just
like when P's used to do that sometimes. They weren't even
man?
connected to the internet. I should be like, I can't process that right now. Like, we didn't say anything to you, bitch. Like,
I can't find that song you're looking for.
no one actually saw me.
It's like, what are you talking about?
I'm not a fan of it, man. I'm not a fan of it, man. You know how I feel about AI, man. We did this stuff on that. You know even how I feel about fucking when I told you, man, I believe we spoke about that the Google or Facebook supercomputers that started writing their own language. The second they put them online, I haven't heard nothing about it. But then right before all this hit, man, I was reading that I believe Google was close to like a quantum computer that would have more computing speed and power than all the supercomputers in the world. Like they were either done with it or very close to being done with it. I have read.
Listen, if you plug up a computer and it starts writing a language you can't read, unplug that shit.
If they have managed to build this quantum computer and it's more powerful than every supercomputer in the world, do not put that motherfucker on. Do not. Like the movies have all taught us enough. Like, yo, if that's not, if what happened with those other computers wasn't enough for you to realize that this is a bad idea in the making, then nothing will. Nothing will make you like realize that's a bad idea in the making. Like
Just iRobot alone.
any movie with fucking AI. Any movie.
There was one that wasn't that bad. The one with Robin Williams. I think it was called Artificial Intelligence.
I think it was. I think it was that, man.
He was like a robot.
Yeah, I never saw that whole movie.
But he was a robot that wanted to die.
Oh, I never. Damn, that's kind of.
Some dark shit.
I mean,
So-
yeah. I mean, apparently Robin Williams was a very sad man, depressed man.
I mean, it's an old movie, so I'm not like spoiling it.
Yeah.
But in the end, he dies.
I mean, even Jack was sad. I love Jack as a movie, man. But even as a kid, that made me sad.
Jack.
When he's supposed to be a kid who has the fucking disease he grows through.
Yo, that's the thing about Robin Williams. People don't understand, bro. Like, he's always done really dark shit, but made it funny, made it watchable. A kid that or an adult that's like a fucking kid and he's just aging faster than everyone.
Man, like,
by the time he graduates, he's a fucking old man.
Like that shit
That shit broke my heart.
Nah, man. But when he had the heart attack and fell down the stairs, when J-Lo turned him down, like, that shit broke my heart, bro. Like I was a kid, like that shit made me cry, bro. Like, you got to put your check, gonna be all right. Yo, like that shit hurts.
Jesus Christ.
That shit hurt when homie tumbled down them stairs. That shit cut me on that one. I was like, holy fuck, nards.
Then he did the movie where he was he worked at the photo place, but he was like a weirdo. He was just collecting pictures of people and trying to like kidnap people. And
Yeah, I didn't see that whole movie. I remember the one you're talking about.
I saw that movie. I'll never forget this. I saw that movie. I was in Los Angeles. I was out with a bunch of people from the church. I don't want to say the church's name, but we all went out there for a wedding. And the guy who I was staying with, he had the TV, and we was all just sleeping on the floor and shit. Everybody's just dicking around, like fucking drawing on each other's faces when you go to sleep and being assholes and shit. And then the next day, he had a lowrider that had the
hydros.
Yeah. But he wasn't like Mexican. He was a black dude. So he's driving. He was like, yo, y'all want to see Compton? I'm like, shit, yeah, we nearby. For some reason, I decided to put my video camera out of the window as we're driving by. And he just takes off because somebody reached. I was just like, yo, I'm never driving with you again, bro. That is not the place to go.
Nah, man, it's not the place to be hanging out the window with something in your hand.
With a fucking video camera, old one too, the one I had to hold with two hands.
I thought you was the fuzz, man.
You could get away with a GoPro, but not this shit.
I don't know. They thought you was working for somebody. Like, who this motherfucker? This motherfucker Intel? He working with?
He's working with the feds.
Word, man.
That was scary, man. But I remember that night because we watched that fucking movie, and I was just like, this Robin Williams guy is pretty sick. It's a long way from the genie.
Yeah, he's come a long way, man. He, I mean, fucked up, man. And apparently, he was just a troubled man. He was slightly troubled man, was all. And sad what happened with him, man. I don't know, man. Robin Williams, he
hung himself, right?
Yeah, I can't remember. I believe so. I know he killed himself. I don't remember how. I'm not gonna sit here and lie. It's just it's crazy.
Nothing's like David Carradine though. It's fucked up, but you kind of did that one to yourself by mistake.
What was it? It was called autoerotic
asphyxiation.
Nah, man, that's a different level.
Putting a belt around your neck while whacking it. It's like, what the fuck? Like, you know, you could have just smoked a blunt and changed your mind about that. It's like, you could have hit the pipe one time.
Like the Eminem song when he says that, it was like with David Carradine jacking his own neck around cameras on charge pod. I'm saying this is not that hard.
That's how you kill Bill. Jesus Christ.
Ah, man.
We want to remind everybody that if you want to donate to 30 Days to Rock, of course, First Live, you got to do it at 30daystoRock.us. Just scroll right down to the bottom. You see the donate button. You see everything that we do and everything that we want to do with you. If you want to be a part, all you got to do is reach out. There's a lot of things going on here at First Live.
A lot of things, and a lot of services available to artists, man. And you know, I haven't said this in a long time, but there's something we used to say when we during our first, Good Morning Bushwick run. But you know, after this whole COVID thing clears up and you guys need your work done, come here, get your shit done right. So I'm gonna say, you remember that? Get your shit done right.
Get your shit done right. We used to do Blue Steel.
Yeah, man, we haven't dropped the Blue Steel because we don't have what camera could we drop a Blue Steel on?
Maybe the wide shot.
The wide shot? Where we going? Is this the wide shot right here?
That's it right there.
Right here?
Right
up
above
here?
that light. So we gotta do a countdown. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Oh, that's strong. That's strong. That's going on Instagram.
Blue Steel, baby. Have to drop the Blue Steel in a minute. Take that again. We're gonna take that again.
We doing
Ready?
it again?
3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
strong. I felt it. I felt that. I even hit the lip pose on it.
I felt my jaw strengthen.
I did the
there.
pout face on that one. Though.
Did you see? There's this thing now that it keeps popping up on my fucking YouTube every time I'm trying to watch something. It's an ad for a jaw chiseler.
What the fuck is a
It's
jaw
like this rubber ball that you just crunch down, and it's supposed to take all the fat off of your jaw and your face, and it
So you can get the
reduces
Russell
aging.
Crowe?
So you get that nice jawline. I was thinking about getting that shit. I got a little double chin going, bro. If I didn't have my beard, I look like Paul Bearer.
I don't know. Like I don't know if I have a double chin. Like I've had a beard for so long, it takes up so much of my goddamn face. I honestly don't know what underneath this would look like.
I don't want to know.
I haven't even trimmed this fucker down since I'm trying to think. Probably since. Honestly, I'm gonna be honest. Sometime last year, trimmed it all the way down. Like and honestly, I haven't trimmed it all since this whole thing started.
When's the last time you had a clean face?
No facial hair?
No facial hair.
Couldn't even tell you.
Did you grow this first? Because I got the goat first.
I remember I shaved that. I was mad when I shaved that, man. I had a nice, strong Billy Goat, but I didn't have a mustache. And one time I went to, sometimes the Dominican barbers, is that language barrier. Homie, he made me look good, but he just sort of snipped me. I was a little upset about that. And it took
That's why I stopped going to barbers, bro.
That's
I don't
why.
trust nobody.
Now, I have a great relationship with my current barber.
You still go across the street?
They haven't reopened yet, actually.
Oh, did you still
Yeah.
go? That's when my brother was going.
Yeah, I saw your brother in there a few times, like even after you guys left. One time I went in there, dead tired, bro. He was in the chair before me, and he was you in the chair before me? Shit.
You remember the video store that used to be next door?
Oh, man. Shit.
$2 cassettes.
Everything, man.
$2 cassettes, bro.
Before the chain video stores.
There he is.
How you doing?
You're not late.
You're not late at
Eduardo,
all.
you are on time, brother.
You're right on time, man.
I don't know what we're doing nowadays with
Knuckle me up, man. That's what we're doing here.
We knuckle up.
Okay, where should I
Sit right there, man. Nice spot for you right there.
I feel like a star.
You look like a star too.
I do?
It's early Wednesday. It's one of those days that we call it hump day, but it's really once you get over the hump, I'd say that's about Thursday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Thursday's hump day because I'm usually recovering from Sunday up until Wednesday.
Yeah.
So how are you doing, brother?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me, and especially in such a just short notice without knowing really what anything is about. So, thank you.
Tell us what it's about.
So, I'm one of the founders of a movement called the Forgotten Ones. The handle is We Are As You. And it's a group of people that we've been going dancing outside of MTC Brooklyn.
I want to ask you right now, is that the one that's close to the water, like in Sunset Park?
Yes, that's
right.
the one that's there. And so what happened is that the prisoners there, the people in there haven't had visits since COVID started, beginning of March.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes they go on lockdowns where they are in their small rooms for periods of 3 weeks without leaving even to the hallway.
Shit.
Yeah, it's really, really bad. They haven't seen their families. And this connection that they're having with people is essential. People go outside, and we've been growing a little bit in numbers. And it's been hard because of some stuff that they start writing about us, which I'll address because it's here, like your face. It's like
I'm a avid as we both had the same fifth grade teacher. He was a year before me. He's a year older than me. Who got us into reading the news daily. Ever since fifth grade, I read the news every day. And I actually saw it this morning in the Post. So after you finish, I showed them both when I got here this morning. I showed Danny and I showed him when he arrived.
Yeah.
I was just like, hey guys, this is in the New York Post. Front page. I was like,
yeah, it's gonna be everywhere. So I'm glad to be here, with just with a microphone and being able to just share our version, just because it's not about the thing they're trying to make it about. And the only thing that's going to be lost is this thing that the people in there have to look forward to every day. We keep hearing from their families and from the people inside how grateful they are for this, even though now they just have 2 or 3 hours a day outside of their cells. Mm-hmm. Some of the people by the wall sacrifice one of those hours and they stay in the room to dance with us. And to put their lights with us and do that connection. We've had up to like 72 windows, banging their lights on the windows and saying hi to us, and it's really been a nice thing for them. And we wanted to invite as many people as possible to go and dance, and it's been growing a little bit in numbers, but then there's the media stuff.
So is this like flash dancing, or you guys choreographed, or?
It started a little bit of just disjointed, and there's people that come to see their people in there, and so we don't have much of a coordinated dance. It started with a little bit of a moonwalk, and they appreciated it. And then
I still can't moonwalk.
Yeah, no, I can't either. But I can't. I really don't dance much. I'm more like the dad there because I'm a dad that it's sort of trying to dance, and it brings that balance to the whole thing. But there's many people like me. They're just trying to give something to what we call the forgotten ones. Because if you think of New York City right now, for example, there's some conditions that they live under that we don't allow for animals right now. There's so much advocacy against them.
Obviously, I've followed the whole situation. First off, I'll say the one reason I knew MDC, man, wasn't even before this was like, I think it was it this winter that just passed or the winter before?
The winter,
when they had no heat, bro.
Yeah.
When we had one of those Arctic, what was it, the polar vortexes?
Yes.
When we were down to like, when it was like 0 degrees and we were like, the wind made it like -20. Like, they had no heat and no hot water. I remember reading that in the news, and that was bad. Like, I remember that was when we had the heat problem. They had it worse. And I'm like, yo, if we're this cold here, I was like, I felt for them. I'm like, yo, we're this cold, and we actually, like, have a building. We can turn on, got to do what the projects do sometimes. This isn't safe. Shouldn't say this on air, but you got to turn on the oven to heat the stove. Got to heat the house. Use that motherfucker like a wood-burning stove, man.
These kind of things are done to them because they're forgotten, because we don't feel they are people anymore. It's hard to believe a building in Manhattan that goes for weeks without heat. It's hard to find. It's done. I don't know if it's on purpose or we just really don't care at all about them because of this. And then that's what's about to happen again. We're out there saying that lives matter beyond gender, beyond race, beyond deed, and things like that. But then we do not practice it as much. Look at these people, for example. They're having verbatim. They're saying this is the only joy they have to look forward to. And you have the media focusing on sex and white women and sex cults and just things that sell. And these people are going to lose the only thing.
Let's dive into that. What exactly is the media portraying you guys as?
You want to just say it?
You want to? Well, I'll take it from what I read, and then I want you to explain this to me. Because earlier today, I read when I woke up. I told them, typically first thing I do in the morning, I wake up is read news headlines, Daily News, New York Post, and then I'll check the major media outlets, and then I'll check the, I won't say the sub tweets, but like I'll say the more independent outlets to read other stuff and see, where the stories align and make my own judgments on it. This I've only seen reported one place as of right now. I saw it in the Post. I haven't Googled anything else because I read the Post this morning. That's where it came up. And it's saying, like, it's not saying all of you guys, but saying, like, people have infiltrated almost like anything, like they say happens. Like, some people, like the New York Post is saying that there's some people that are organized that are, like, loyal to the gentleman who was in trouble with whatever that cult was. I can't even pronounce it.
Yes, it's called NXIVM. And,
NXIVM.
I was a teacher in NXIVM, and Keith Raniere is my friend. He's been my friend for 10 years. And, it's interesting that if you go and you read the news and you know, judge the people that appear in the news just by what you read in the news. That's what happened. That's why there's millions of black people in jail, because prejudice rendered them defenseless. And if we do that again with another group, because you call it a sex cult, because you call it a this, because you call it a that, it's no different. And you know, it's interesting. Yesterday there was a BLM meeting outside of MDC Brooklyn, and some of the people that were there had been dancing with us priorly. They loved what we did. They found it on Instagram, and they were there dancing with us, which is the only thing we're doing. You know, the news say that we're communicating Morse code with Keith, which I don't know why we would live stream it if we're trying to do
I mean, I was even telling him about that, like Morse code. I don't even know anyone who would know, like in this generation, would know Morse code if you're not in the military.
Well, the thing is, like, I think 2 clicks to the light is yes. This is a code that they use because when there's things that prevent from them to have visitations, people outside. This is not something we invented. People go with the lights of their phones and try to communicate with them as much as they can.
I mean, there's the whole. I mean, if you know Morse code, it's not hard. I mean, I would guess, and obviously, if they have a prison library, if you could find a book, I'm pretty sure you can find a book that'll show you what to do. And
yeah. Also, if we were communicating with him, that wouldn't be wrong. When you go visit people, you have an hour and a half to talk with them about whatever you want. So communicating with them with a lantern wouldn't also be a crime, if you think about it. But the point of these things is always making something good look bad, and eventually the good thing disappears. And there's no good deed that won't have hate, especially nowadays. But the funny thing was, these people were dancing with us, and then they were like, we want to support you. We're going to have a big meeting here on Tuesday, and maybe we'll have some people stay afterwards, But then they went and they read what was online, and they were like, we don't want to support you. And this is what keeps happening. You read something in the news, and you label a group of people like something bad without checking, without anything. This has happened through history. This is what has allowed for whole groups of people to be hated and persecuted. You read the Times Union, and it says it's a concern that such a big number of Nexians are gathering. There's like 7 people there that knew each other from those programs. And so this large group of Nexians are gathering. That's like what they say of the Jewish people in 1930s in Europe. You are seeing in front of your eyes character assassinations campaigns on whole groups. And we don't recognize them. You have people that are, speaking against prejudice without knowing, committing also prejudice as we speak. So, I mean, I don't know. The other thing is, I come from Mexico. Forced labor, sex trafficking organizations don't go dance outside of prisons. If you go and Google images of what those things are, it's horrible.
No, I mean, I've told him I've read it. I'm totally against any type of exploitation like that, man. He knows my feelings on people that do that. I find people like in that field to be lower than murderers. The only people lower than that are rapists to me. And it's not something I would expect this, but to see it in the news was shocking. And even then, like after I read the email, I was like, this wouldn't be them. And then I actually saw the name, so I was like, guys, I think we just need to discuss this beforehand. But just as you were part of Nexium, could you explain what actually happened, what went down with that whole thing? 'Cause I remember it being in the news, and I still don't fully understand. All I know is they said like some people were accused of maybe sex trafficking or something of that matter.
Yeah, I mean, if you go and you look at the Nexium was an umbrella of a lot of companies. Some of them are human potential programs for kids, for people with OCD and things like that. It was a very serious company that had more than 17,000 people. That above 95% of them say that they got great results. That it was amazing. Even the people who are adversary now, who brought all this stuff to Keith and his friends, even them, they say that the programs were great. Mm-hmm. They were great programs. There were companies that then. They were just piled up under the name Nexian because the people who knew they were doing these things, they know that it's better to have one bad thing that you can call a sex cult, and then everything under it, takes the wind of that character assassination campaign, that defamation. And the other thing is, I'm not here to defend Nexian or to say what it was. There is a group of people dancing outside of MDC. And the lives in there are important, even if they're murderers. They can't even hear us. They see little people with lights dancing down there.
I'll say this. I mean, for us to be a proud nation, I'll say ideas. I mean, it's an inhumane situation. If you study the modern day prison system, the prison industrial complex, I mean, anyone who knows that is essentially a very tantamount to modern day slavery. A lot of major corporations get a lot of goods produced by prison labor for
free prison labor.
Yeah, you have
not
in
free,
America,
but they pay them like $1 an hour. Like if you're lucky, you might make $2.
That's crazy.
Those are considered the good jobs.
Well, in America, we don't say the N-word, and we think we don't have slavery because of that. But millions of people in cages that produce money is slavery. You can call it whatever you want, and
it's tantamount to modern day slavery. The prison industrial complex. Anyone who looks at it and sees it any other way can't be looking at the same thing. I'm sorry.
So then when you have that, you have them being treated worse than animals. Why are we talking about sex cults? Why are we talking about things like that?
Did any of the news outlets that wrote about you guys show up while you were dancing?
Yeah, but they show up with an agenda. They show up saying, "Oh, we're here to cover the sex cult." And there's the whole K Rose thing. A family came and they put a message to their person K Rose. I don't know who they are, because being who we are, they didn't want to be recorded. They didn't want to be on camera. And now it's been told with as if it was fact and data that this is not a person, that this is code for Keith Raniere. As if people needed code outside of prison, and why would you live stream it again? So you have now this family who went and did the first connection they had. They danced with their family member in almost half a year, and now they're involved in this sex cult thing, and nobody is looking at those windows anymore. We're releasing videos where you can see, it's almost an artistic thing, because you only see the shadows. There's shades with a light, which is some sort of metaphor for the soul. You don't have gender, you don't have deed, you don't have race. You just have a human shadow with a light, and they're all connecting. They're all craving connection. They're enjoying. The thing that's going to be lost if this media thing continues is the thing that they look forward to. And the prison, the people inside report that the morale is up, violence is down. They have something to look forward to.
Yeah, they're getting a show.
Yeah, they're getting a show. We could do like backflips
the people that
for them.
they love.
Yeah. And so, there will be stuff that will explain the whole Nexian thing and all that. And, I just don't want to make this movement about that. In some ways, I'm going around trying to get on radio, trying to get on TV, just to bring the focus back to the dance for the people in there. And I don't, I want to call them inmates, but it's been hard, when you're with the families there and you call them inmates, they're not inmates. They're people who are in there.
Yeah.
So the people inside need the focus to be on them. It's offensive, that we have this tendency to look, let's see if white women are being hurt, and because they're saying that there's this sex thing that it's unclear, let's put all the focus there. And you have all the media there coming and looking for white dancing girls while 100 humans are banging on their windows for attention. That is wrong. That we put the focus on that is wrong. And the reason why a lot of people are in that place, and even some of them innocent, it's because that's how prejudice works, because that's how the news work. They tell you what to focus on, and you literally delete beautiful, incredible things that are in front of your eyes. So, if I could use your platform to say something, would be invite people to go and dance outside for those prisoners. They can, they can think it's an excellent thing. They can hate whatever they want to hate, but please go and dance and connect with them. It gives them a reason to live, literally. And, they're treated worse than animals. They go with cold winters, with weeks without leaving their rooms. When you go and you see their shadows, they're connecting with you. It's all that it is about. And, it's a good thing that the people in there and their families are being very grateful and sending us messages every day. So
when you say that you broadcast this, is everyone going live from their own Instagrams and Facebooks, or is there like a platform that you guys...
We have a live stream on the We Are As You. We have the Instagram handle, and we go live on it. I'm sorry to explain it. I'm almost 40. I'm a dad. I go on Facebook every now and then, and it's ridiculous.
So We Are As You.
We Are As You, and you'll transform more into the forgotten ones, because that's the point. Justice has forgotten a whole group of people. The society becomes so arrogant and so indulgent and so whatever that, literally groups of people, we forget about them. My dad was telling me the other day that he was reading that Charles Dickens in 1821. In 1821, 200 years ago, he wrote that when he landed in America, he was just offended of how bad prisons were. And he was shocked that we had something like solitary confinement.
That destroys the human soul.
And 200 years, and after dozens of books by Charles Dickens, we have exactly the same.
But I mean, you look at it. I don't think you would consider solitary confinement for anything other than to break someone down. You only get sent to solitary confinement either, and I don't even you could say if someone gets sent there for their own safety, because a lot of the time you're in segregated population, but you're around people. When you get sent to like fucking solitary confinement, that's it. Like you're by yourself, and I think that they show it. Like people need human contact. You need interaction.
We
with
don't
people.
allow dogs to go to solitary confinement anymore. That's fined and stuff.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
I remember when I first got Netflix a few years ago, and one of the first docu-series or shows that I watched was a show about solitary confinement. And they showed one of the cells. When they walk inside, really small cell, small little window on the top. But if you look at the floor, you could see the wear and tear from somebody walking around in a circle. Like it's literally a perfect circle of just footprints left that just stained the floor. Like if you go fucking nuts.
Yes. We believe that a lot of those things can change if people remember them as people. The reason why all those things are allowed is because we don't think of them as people. Even when the news go there, they're all giving them their back. Nobody is getting like close-ups of the windows and their shades. They're like, oh, where's the sex school? Where are the girls? Like, giving their backs literally to the forgotten ones.
But I'll say this, something we frequently say, there's no such thing as bad publicity. So I will say, even if it is in a negative light like that, they are at least bringing attention on what you guys are doing, the inhumane conditions there that you guys are there for, even if they. And I will say, honestly, I read both the New York Post and the New York Daily News. I read the Times sometimes when they don't want to flag me and tell me I only have a certain number of articles left to read for the month. I'm not paying you for it. I'm sorry.
Was that the Times?
Yeah, Times, Wall Street Journal, all that shit. But I've only seen it reported in the Post, and I will say this: the Post is also, for it to be New York City, a very conservative news outlet. So I'll give you credit on that, man. There's something I've seen the reporting of that. The Post is the only ones who ran with that. The police with the shit at Shake Shack last month. How they ran out the door with it. Where they said they poisoned them, poured bleach in the shit. Yeah. And none of it happened. None of it happened the way they said. And not even a correction or a go back like, hey, we got a little bit of information. NYPD brass condemned the first lieutenant or whoever it was who tweeted the shit out. But aside from that, like, there's no, hey guys, we jumped the gun. We didn't, get the facts together. And that's a dangerous thing, especially in today's era. Especially in today, this era of information, the way everything goes, to have jumped the gun like that. When I read that, I'm just like, why would anyone knowingly pour bleach? And then it's like, it's a pickup order. How do you know it's a to-go order? Like, none of it made sense, man. And it was just the Post really ran with that shit. So I'll give you credit there. Even though I read the Post is very conservative, and I haven't seen any. And I'll also say this: I haven't seen any news outlet come out and say, hey, the original information we reported was wrong and anything over the last few years.
They don't want to backtrack.
Nowhere backtracks. They just, article disappears, link's gone, and then next one's up. That's it.
Because it's a race about who's first, not about who's right.
Right. There's very little.
You want to be the first one out there.
And then everyone is right.
Yeah, everyone's right
to themselves.
Opinions are facts. And I'll say this: everyone's goal now is like this very limited journalistic integrity left in this. I want to say the world, but not even in the world. I'll say our world in this country, in the U.S. Yeah. There's very limited journalistic integrity. Even the major media outlets are reporting with an agenda. Yeah. So I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. It's interesting when you read about Nexiums, you don't think of I have a child. I have a 1-year-old. I do translation work. I have a translation small company. I've always done work that is good. And it's I actually work a lot in the asylum, in the political asylum offices. So I do a lot of rough translations for victims of actual abuse in Central America. Mm-hmm. And you have, for example, women that are deaf or with a limited mental capacity who are like, I'm sorry to say these things, but like raped and dismembered and horrible things. So to have like just put everything under Me Too and say like these people that complain about sex cult, that those are like the same as the victims of actual abuse, that actually, that actually dishonors victims of actual abuse. The things that some women are doing in our society versus what some minorities get exposed to, the type of violence, are not of the same category.
Everything just can't be lumped
It's
into
not
one
all.
thing.
It can't.
I
am sorry to say, but there's no Me Too about that.
I tell people this is what a lot of situations you want to see it as black and white. The world, as much as I want to say there are a lot of black and white situations. I don't mean black and white in terms of color. I mean A or B. There's no. A lot of the world's gray. There's shades of gray to it.
Yeah.
But there's situations like this where it's not. It's black or white, and people. And once again, I don't mean black or white as in race. I feel like I need to say that every time I say
Just
black or
50
white. People
shades of
take
gray.
it.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of gray in between.
There
And
is.
one of the things is like, as a huge sports fan, man, I'm a huge baseball fan. When a lot of Cuban players came over before some of the new reforms that President Obama put on, when Cuban players were coming over to get out of Cuba, the way they have to defect, a lot of the time they have to go through like drug cartels to help them get over.
Yeah.
I don't know. Have you ever heard of Yasiel Puig?
No.
He was a Cuban guy. He came up with the Dodgers about, 2020? I'll say 2014, 2013 maybe. He came up big, fizzled out, but he's still in the Major League Baseball. But his story of getting here, man, how these guys held him at ransom and threatened to kidnap him and like come back and get him. He was already playing for the Dodgers, had apparently paid his fee after getting his big contract. And like there were still calls, people still threatening him, threatening his family, and things like the articles already. It was crazy, man.
I mean, if you import logic to the news, you'll figure out that something's going on. If you go and Google images of sex trafficking, of forced labor, those are amongst the most horrible things that happen in the world.
Yeah,
if
I
you
don't
go
even
and you
wanna see
see
that
what those
shit.
organizations are, which are more like what you're describing, those people don't go dance outside of prisons. If that was ever to happen, you'll have the army there in a minute. That is not what happened. And then this Morse code secret thing, why would we live stream it? If you put logic into it, it doesn't make sense. It's not meant to make sense. And I think the only thing that I would have to say for the people that hear us are, we're focusing on black people so much. And I think you guys could be the better person, whoever is black out there listening. They've been subject to horrible campaigns of defamation for decades that rendered them criminals. And that is amongst the most awful thing that can happen to a race. And that is happening to people in Nexium now. It doesn't look like it because it never looks like it. It always looked like the people that are being reported as bad are actually bad.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we can be better than before. And you guys can see beyond race and beyond the news and say, wait, let's see who these people are. There are people. Don't allow for these things to be done to other races or to other groups of peoples. Because, it's the same process. Hate is hate.
How often do you guys go and dance?
Every day, 8 to 9 p.m. We're growing in numbers. Everyone knows now inside the prison, they communicate, they come and they try to be as much as they can there. They dance with us. We're all listening to the same radio station. I don't know if I can say it because I don't want to promote another radio station, but we're all listening to the same radio station that they listen to inside. So what we want is for, I can say it?
What station?
97.1. We thought it sounds really
Is that
rough. We
Kiss
thought they
FM?
would be willing to.
No, I know WQHT New York. You don't know who that is? 97.1 WQHT New York.
No, it's
Hot
hot
97?
No,
No,
hot 97.
WQHT Hot 97, B.
I just said Hot
That's the
97.
actual number.
So,
before
apparently
you
a-
said WB.
I thought it
you said
was Kiss
Kiss FM.
FM.
folks.
A lot of people inside listen to that, and so it's a way because they have the short wave radios, they have like old radios
Yeah,
with batteries. It's the only
terrestrial.
thing they can have.
Yeah.
They listen to what we're listening to, so they know, even though they can't hear us, they know what we're listening to, and they are dancing to the same beat that we are. If we get someone from that station or from another station that they can listen to inside, live there dancing with us, we could communicate with them. We can metaphorically go through the wall. So this is something that we're looking for, and we're looking for a lot of people to dance. You see, what we do is we dance with a lot of energy. It's painful for the people dancing. Ironically, you see their shapes, you see the excitement of the craving for human connection, and it's sad. But, you take the sad and you take it in the chin and you dance with excitement because the dance is for them. This is not about me. This is not about how hard it is for me. If it's hard for me to go and see the conditions they're in, that's fine. I can go cry later. But when we go there, we dance and we give them a good time.
I mean, I'm blown away by this entire thing. just the fact that the moral support is evident. The fact that you can put smiles on people's faces on the inside and give them something to look forward to every day, that's magic right there.
It's great.
But is the goal to get them further assistance inside, to get them heat, or
Well, we'll see. Once there are humans in there, the press and the people won't allow these crimes to be committed to them. The reason why they occur is because nobody cares. And
So
we
you're
intellectually understand is wrong, but we don't feel it. We don't go there and see them as people. If 1 million people, we want this to grow into other prisons, maybe even like care homes and other places that have the same situation. We want this to grow into a thing where people who want to dance and connect with people who have no connection, they can go and do it all over America. We want that, but I forgot what I was going to say.
you was
That's so
talking
many
about
points.
the fact that you're starting a movement that's about to go global.
Thank you.
That's what I just got out of it.
So,
if
I'm
you can
talking
get
about-
people from other states to go to their prisons, especially the ones that have terrible, terrible conditions, and people are locked down in quarantine and they're not allowed out of their cells and shit like that, and you could start this, bro. Like, you already have really huge outlets reporting on you, whether it's like he said, there's
Good or
no such
bad,
thing as
there's
bad press.
There's no such thing as bad press, good or bad.
You got a foundation right
I'm
now.
sorry. Our country right now is being fueled by terrible press. Either way.
It's
Either
crazy.
way. Being fueled by
It's crazy.
terrible press.
I mean, being in this side of it, it's just crazy. You wake up feeding your son and your thing, you're this, you're that everywhere, and it's incredible. But back to that, I think if we can make this grow, it will be impossible for people to be treated the way they're being treated, because everyone will know, because people will be outside, because people will be feeling that they're the own family. When somebody in there is your brother or your husband or your son, it changes forever.
Yeah.
People go there and they turn their lives towards helping the person that's inside. Sadly, what that also means is that the people supporting and going against the abuses in prison, they have been victims to these things, and we see them as victims, and that's it. They're victims. We feel bad for them, but that's it. What needs to happen is that people like me, people like us that are not a victim of the system yet, that we haven't been destroyed by the system, we, the people, need to say enough is enough. And when the people that are not categorized as victims say enough, then enough is enough. And that's what has changed any society before. People that are not victims of the system, that are not labeled as victims, to stand up and change things. If a bunch of people that are not victims of the system say enough, we're here, we're dancing, but we're also watching, they will live better immediately. We're not talking about justice reform in a decade. We're talking about bettering their conditions in months. By watching them, by being them, with them, for them. This is the way societies change, not with the government, not with protests. They change with people taking control back. We can go and watch them. We can go and humanize them. We don't need permission from the government to do that.
That's powerful shit right there.
I mean, you
bro.
don't need permission from the government to do a lot, man. That was one thing I stressed early in Corona, at the early parts of this coronavirus shutdown. That annoyed me, where people were waiting for permission to not send their kids to school, stop going to work.
Crazy.
Like, they're like, hey, you're going to shut down the government? Like, it's like, at the end of the day, you have the power to make your own choices, good or bad. You're allowed free will. You're an adult. And even more so than that, you're a fucking American adult. You have more freedoms than a lot of other people in the world. Exercise them. Use them right. Use them for good. But a lot of people don't. A lot of people use them to complain, act like a bitch, say, I don't want to wear a mask. It's my God-given right to do this and that. There's a lot of stupid things people want to use their God-given American freedoms for. But, I mean, we're not allowed to tell people what to do as Americans. We hope they do better. But
And I'm sorry to say this, but going on social media and being right and being the smartest and being arrogant doesn't change anything. That only
It
builds
really
hate.
doesn't.
that's 100% right, man.
It
That's
really does not.
No one realizes, and it drives me up the wall.
And there's too many people
Yeah.
that feel that they're making a big change just by posting
Yeah.
things.
But
and they're
because
fucking-
everyone wants
get
to
the
be
fuck outta
an
here with that.
influencer.
So this movement has the uniqueness that we're not saying we're right about this, we're right about that. You should listen to this. You should make wrong this. The president is this. The president that. We're saying come and dance and connect with them. Nobody, you don't need permission for that. If you go and you connect with them, you change things. If thousands of people go and connect with them, exercising their freedom to dance, their freedom to connect with others, which is something they can do. They just know to get in their car and go and dance. That changes things. There's been countries that have achieved their independence by singing. There's countries that have achieved independence by dancing. These are the things that the people do when they have a government that doesn't look out for them anymore. Do you guys think we have a government that looks out for us?
I don't think they ever
It
did.
depends on who you are.
Exactly. So, you know,
Like Chappelle
I
said,
feel that's a
he's
much
fighting for me.
I mean, the government looks out for some, not all. And I tell people when it comes to this "Make America Great Again" slogan, this is going to get me the most trouble right now. When it comes to this slogan right now, I tell anyone, pick any era in the United States American history from 1776, its founding, or if you want to jump back to when the colonies first got here, whatever the fuck you want to pick it as, to when this country was 100% great for 100% all parties involved. And there's no era in United States history when you can pick that. If you want to say maybe let's keep moving America forward and striving for greatness, yeah, I'm okay with that. But keep America great, make America great. It's tough to say we ever had a period where it was great for all parties involved.
You know, I can say as someone who came from Mexico that there is a greatness to America if we compare it to certain things.
There's I have to talk to my dad all the time. There's one thing, I don't mean to cut you off, is that without a doubt, being an American citizen is a privilege.
Yeah.
Not a God-given right. It's a privilege. It's something that I think a lot of people take for granted. Mainly bratty, spoiled, entitled people who this is my freedom, give it to me, and don't understand what it is to ever understand the conditions to come from. I mean, yeah, you're talking about Mexico, but even you like right now we can see in the news going on with the cartels and stuff down there.
It's crazy.
Even the separate states having the problems trying to rein it in. And then you look at some of the problems in Central America with trafficking, sex trafficking organizations, even gangs down there. And other places across the world, man. I have friends who grew up under communism that I worked for when I did real estate, who grew up in Poland under the fucking under the fucking Red Curtain, the Iron Curtain. What was it called when they were over there? The Warsaw Pact.
Something like that.
The Iron Curtain, right? Who grew up under that and immigrated here and knew what communism was. I know people who lived under that.
Didn't Leslie Mandoki talk about that?
Leslie Mandoki. We had somebody who interviewed like that. There are people who understand that, and I will say wholeheartedly. To live here is to enjoy freedoms that the rest of the world doesn't, and I don't think people get that. And how some of the shit they're striving for is going to strip some of those freedoms away from us.
Well, we're about to lose them too.
A lot of them.
Here's the thing. You know, I come from a place where there's no justice system, and the difference from here is that, you know, people know it from decades ago. You know, you ask anyone, well, you know, really, it's a country of drug dealers, it's a country of this, and everyone was like, yeah, pass me another beer. You know, we know this. You know. We know this.
Give me a whiskey.
In America, I think you're losing your justice system, but the difference is people haven't accepted yet. And I think that gives hope. Part of why I'm doing this is, you know, I tell my wife every day, you know, as I speak, there's horrible things being written about me. Why would I come and grab a microphone? It's because I have to. I'm a teacher of expression. I'm a translator. I want to see my children have children. It's what I want. I'm no hero of any type. But somebody has to say something. I know what it's like to be in a country with no justice. It's not good. And, you know, sometimes societies grow arrogant and, you know, we believe that can't happen to us because we're great. But, you know, I'm not sure. And maybe it never will happen to America. But as someone who is a guest in this country, I have to say something. I have to do something because I know what happens when you lose your justice system. I've been there. I grew up 25 years in Mexico. And, you know, I just can't allow these things to happen again in front of my eyes, not again.
I tell people all the time, one of the biggest things that hurts this country is the citizens' hubris, is that they don't think it can happen. They don't believe it can happen. We've seen it. You study history. Things like this have happened. And this is how societies go down this path. And you look at it, everyone says they don't realize it until it's too late. And there's some people that want to lead this country in a way that's just terrible from both sides. And until people that get, I have to say it all the time, the greater population wakes up and understands the trick, the wool being pulled over their eye, everything going on, no one's going to notice, or even if they do care to give a shit. And that's what it feels like sometimes. I tell people, one of the things I tell people, if you want to watch something, and I'll say know what it is to feel like an American, and made me feel the most American I felt in my entire life, and I didn't even live through this, but I told you when I watched the Ken Burns Vietnam documentary, It's about 17 and a half hours long. It's on Netflix. It's broken up into like 10 parts. It's an eye-opening watch because it shows from both sides. And like listening to the families of American soldiers who were lost, listening to the soldiers who were over there, listen to they even interview some old like Viet Cong soldiers, people who were in the Viet Cong, and like they say how they they just kept mounting losses, and even the American soldiers who say like you would see the losses on their side, but they just keep coming. And they said they admired some of them for that because no matter how much they lost, they were fighting to defend their freedom of their country and keep their country from like the U.S. And it's just crazy on both sides. But I tell people, you look back at that, and that's like in the last 100 years, one of the more polarizing eras in this country was the Vietnam era, along with what we've gone through recently.
Yeah.
These are in the last 100 years some of the most polarizing things in this country, and to like see it as someone who didn't grow up through it, knew a little bit about it, but see it like unfiltered and raw like that it'll make you appreciate it, man. Because there's even a U.S. A soldier who says when he got home he was so disgusted with everything that he renounced his citizenship. And he was like, it was his worst decision he ever made in his life. He's like, I live in Canada now, and no matter how good I'm treated, no matter how much I like the environment, I'll always be a foreigner, and I can never go home.
And that's just a mentality that I don't think is going to go anywhere. People are always going to feel that way because people are always going to treat them that way. But as the show's coming to a close, we got a few minutes left. What do you want to say to anyone who wants to join your movement, and where can they go to find you?
They can find us in the Instagram, either the Forgotten Ones or We Are As You. Hashtag We Are As You. It's already growing, so you can use that one. And most come and dance outside of MTC Brooklyn from 8 to 9. Come and dance and look at the windows, look at the people in there, wave to them. They're dancing with you. Everyone, even the worst murderer, trafficker, has some sort of humanity and process that needs to be respected. If you come and you connect with the people there without any judgment, you will be contributing for less prejudice. You will be contributing for humanity. And you come and you dance and you focus on them. You can go read later about whatever you want. You can tweet whatever you want about the people you see. You can do whatever you want. But if you're going to come and give your back to them because you're trying to write a note or whatever, don't come. If you're going to come, you come to dance, you come with your light, with your phone, and you engage with them because it's the only hour of the 24 that they are looking forward to. So come and dance, come and connect with them. As many people as can come. My hope would be that as many people come and dance to MTC Brooklyn tonight from 8 to 9 p.m.
Well, I gotta say, it was a huge pleasure meeting you, brother.
Yes, man. This was a great
glad
conversation.
you came on the show. This was a really interesting conversation.
It was, man. I think we're gonna get some feedback from this, both positive and negative.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I apologize. I sometimes bring bad news.
I appreciate what you said to come on here, man. A lot of people,
press.
this comes out in the press. People would have ducked it, not say anything. You came and tackled it face first. Came right at it, man.
Thank you for being open. Thank you. It's
absolutely.
I want to tell you guys that I really feel grateful to what you just did because it's difficult. It's rare. People don't read what you read and then give a microphone to someone. They don't. Maybe they hit them with a microphone, but
you do that here at
I
Good Morning Bushwick.
And I mean, I actually didn't even get to touch on it, man, because we're about to wrap up. I guess I'll talk about it. But just like one of the things is like just trying to force people's opinions, man. And that's one thing I see right now with this whole boycott and Goya thing, man. I don't agree with what the man said, but as an American citizen, you have to agree.
He has the right to say what he
it's
wants
his right
to say.
as an American citizen. You don't have to like it, but respect that that's his right. And people are trying to. And I told my girl, like, the quickest thing that is going to push a one world government, man. You have to agree with our opinion, or you're the enemy. Like it's an opinion, not a fact. And people are allowed their own.
Before we take off, we just have to remind everybody to donate at 30daystoRock.us. You guys see it right there.
30daystoRock.us. You can get the other shows. You can get the entire lineup for the shows coming up for the rest of the week. As we said earlier today, the next show coming up will be this evening at 7 p.m. when we have Kevin Daniel here at First Live studio here performing this evening, and he'll be performing live on 30daystoRock.us. Once again, we want to remind everyone what this whole thing was set up for. It's a fundraiser to help raise, funds for, here First Live, who didn't get any, or like most small businesses, they get any type of release from Uncle Sam from the government. A lot of small businesses got dick like that, and also the artists who work. A lot of them in the service community, and their
Struggling.
their performances were a stream of income, and not only have they lost their job, they've lost another steady stream of income. So we're trying to help out a couple different communities across the board, man, and we want to keep First Live open and keep this gym for Bushwick. So if you have anything you can donate, head over to 30days to rock.us, man. All the information is available here. You'll get the entire lineup. You can see everything that's going on. There's the mission. You can watch the previous shows and get everything you need, man, for all information regarding this amazing initiative.
And of course, if you guys want to keep up with Bud and Roach, you go to budandroach.com for everything we have going on.
And you can follow us on Instagram at Bud and Roach.
Because we do the fucking, you heard?
That's what we do. And thank you again for tuning in. You can get everything else going on here at 30 Days to Rock at 30days to rock.us. Love you guys. See you next week. Enjoy your summer.
Thank you.
That was solid.
Nice. Yeah, thank you.